Hello, Christopher Wilkinson. Chris Wilkins. Thank you and welcome to this interview. It's a pleasure for me to have you again and to talk about your amazing translation of the book, The Dawn of Awareness. So, for those who don't know Christopher Wilkinson, I will introduce you to him. He is a translator. I call him a Lotsawa, but we will not enter in this discussion now. So, Christopher Wilkinson began his study of Tibetan and Sanskrit in 1972. He holds a BA degree in Asian language and literature and another BA degree in comparative religion. He got his Master of Arts in 1988. His thesis was on Tantra Clear Meaning, which he had now translated and published. His academic work includes also 3 years as an adjunct professor of University of Calgary and 15 years as a research fellow in the US and France. He has published 12 books of quality translations of Tibetan literature into English, touching on every aspect of the transmissions of Buddhism. His Great Perfection series includes 6 books that show us the earliest presentation of the Great Perfection. In the total, he has 44 translations till today, which is simply amazing. Is this 44 or more now?
I'm up to 47 now.
Now 47. Thank you for updating me because
Yes.
it's really, I said, which is simply amazing. I said double, which is really outstanding. Congratulations. Thank you for accepting to do this interview. It's really an honor to me to be with you again, Chris. And I don't know if you have something to say to the viewers or if you want me to start immediately with the questions.
Well, I'd say hello to everybody. And it's nice to have this chance to share a little bit about who I am and what I'm doing. And I truly love translating the literature of the Great Perfection. It fills my life with happiness just to do it. And I was trained by the best teachers that there are, and I feel like their legacy needs to be passed on and brought into the world of today, and I'm doing it. A lot of people have the aspiration to make things happen, and there's a lot of wonderful dreams out there. But what I'm actually doing is I'm actually releasing quality translations one after the other. And I'm doing that with the help of a lot of good supporters who have been very kind over the years to keep me alive doing this. And I appreciate that, we're all a community and we're a Sangha. And I'm bringing my experience and my ability to you, and then this helps everybody grow. And so I'm happy to do this kind of interview.
Thank you, Chris. It's lovely. And you are very, you are a unique character. You are really a unique human being, I must say. Anyway, should I start? Can I start? I'm
Yeah, go
curious.
for it.
Okay. So, how did you first encounter the Dawn of Awareness Tantra? And what made you realize it deserved a full translation?
Well, the Dawn of Awareness Tantra is a very famous Tantra.
Hmm.
And if you talk to like the kind of Nyingma masters who do a lot of reading, and all of my teachers were teachers that were readers, and they like to read lots of books and talk about books and share books. And in as far as like a famous book of literature, the Dawn of Awareness is definitely one of them. I think I heard of it first in about 1984 from Nyoshul Ken Rinpoche.
Oh my,
And
Yosuken Rinpoche.
then over the years, Kempo Pelden Sherab and so on, they would mention this as one of the great books that you could possibly read. Um, and I was at that stage of my life, I was in the mode of gathering knowledge and gathering information. And it's not easy to translate the great perfection. Um, you have to really understand what you're reading. And to gain that understanding, you really have to go through a lot of training and a lot of experience. And now here I am. I'm 68 now. I feel like I can actually do it, and it's correct and it's right. And when I read the original Tibetan, I understand it clearly. And when I write it in English, I think the kind of English I use is clear, and people seem to like it. People compliment me on my poetry.
Yeah.
So, and nobody has ever I've never received any kind of negative feedback that I was mistranslating or doing it wrong, or nobody has ever done that over all these years. And so I feel like I definitely do have a gift to offer. I found out about the dawn of awareness early, so I decided about 10 years ago to translate all of the 17 tantras of the Upadeśa Tantra section.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that the Great Perfection literature is divided into 3 sections: the mind section, and the space section, and the Upadeśa instruction section. And the Upadeśa instruction section consists of 17 tantras. And these are very famous tantras, and all of the masters appreciate them. And they're kept in the collections of the Nyingma Gyubum, the 100,000 tantras of the ancient ones. And so it's well known that out of these 17, the dawn of awareness is the king, is the crowning jewel. But they're all amazing. And they're all called the 17 tantras of Upadeśa instruction because they do have a unified platform. They're talking about the same thing, but the approaches are very different. Like in one, you have the Buddha manifesting as a lion who is roaring out the teaching of the great perfection. Yeah. You have the rosary of pearls, which is like one brilliant thought after another, strung together into a tantra. And each of the 17 tantras is amazing. And at the time, I thought I would translate all 17 one after the other, but I actually got to the point where I did translate another tantra, which is called it's a companion tantra. It's called the majestic self-liberation of awareness. And out of the 17 tantras, 2 of them are actually about the same tantra. The dawn of awareness is the main, big, huge tantra, and it's definitely the largest of them all. And then there's a companion tantra, which is a little bit of a commentary and a little bit of a supplement. And it's called the self-liberation of awareness. And I actually published my translation of that like 8 years ago.
Wow.
In this book called The Mirror of the Heart of Vajrasattva.
Yes, it's amazing.
And so I knew about the content of the dawn of awareness very well from doing that one. But as it happened, I was at a conference 8 years ago in Colorado where all the translators were gathering for a big meeting of translators. It was wonderful, fantastic. And I met Malcolm Smith there, among many wonderful people. And he's a brilliant man, very kind and a genius. And he shares his knowledge. He's amazing. And he told me that he was about to publish his translation of the rigour, which is the dawn of awareness. He calls it the self-arising Vidya Tantra. And I had already published the self-liberation of awareness. And I thought it's not a good idea to have two competing translations coming out at the same time.
Yes.
And so I decided to hold off. And I'm glad that I did, because in the experience I've gained over the last 8 years of publishing more than 30 books of translations, I was able to do the dawn of awareness in a way that I couldn't have 8 years ago. And I have to say, just for the record, I never did read Malcolm Smith's translation, because I didn't want, that's just a methodology, part of the method. I didn't want my translation to be any kind of reaction to what he has done. And I think he's a brilliant man, and I would buy his book, definitely. But, I have not read it, so I cannot offer any kind of insight about how they might compare. When I did do it, I've brought out the many great tantras in the last 8 years, and when I sat down to do the dawn of awareness this time, it came very, very naturally to me, and it was not a struggle at all. It was a joy every day to pick it up and just do a few more pages. And I think the happiness that I had translating it does come through for the reader. And I hope so.
Yeah, that's incredible, Chris. It's incredible how spontaneous you can be. And thank you for sharing that with us. I will go through the next question. So the Tantra is called the crown jewel of the Upadeśa corpus. In your view, what makes it so central?
Well, I've read the 17 tantras at this point, and they're all amazing, each and every one of them. But this one, if you're just going to read one book, and you really like, maybe you're a busy person and you don't have time to sit in a cave and read all these books slowly over the years. Maybe you need to pick one book that's going to be the best and go right to the point and cover every base and every angle. Then the dawn of awareness, it's really all there. You could just read the dawn of awareness and that would be enough. For an understanding of the Upadeśa instructions.
Yeah.
And the Upadeśa instructions are they're pointing out instructions, and that's what the Tantra is. It's a whole bunch of pointing out instructions. And so as you're reading it, you're not just reading it like a novel, you're reading it like a personal adventure. And it's the adventure of your own life as a reader. And it comes alive. And that's the power of the Tantra, I think.
Yes, that's what makes it central, right? Very good. Thank you so much. That's a very brilliant answer. So you have mentioned that the Tantra shows layers of a creation. Can you give an example of how different historical periods appear within the text, Chris, please?
Well, when I was back in my university days, I did do some study about what they call text criticism.
Text
criticism. That's where you do a critical analysis of a document.
Yeah.
And you can do, biblical scholars like to do it, to look for layers of teaching in the Bible. and they use very advanced analytics to try to determine what came before what. Well, one thing that's very common in a tantra is that somewhere close to the end, there's going to be a statement about who this tantra is intended for. And it will say in the time of the last 500 years, there will be people that are like this and this and this and this and this, and this is who it's for, and this is who it's not for, and then that will be very close to the ending of the tantra. Maybe after that there will be some rejoicing or something like that, but it's a common pattern in tantras that close to the end, there's some statement about who it's for.
Yes.
And now, if you look in the Dawn of Awareness,
yeah,
in chapter 40,
yeah,
there is a thorough bequest. It starts on page 243, and it tells you who the tantra is for.
Yeah. 243. Right?
On page 243.
Very good. So there it tells us for whom the tantra is for, correct? Did I understand well?
Yes.
Very good.
It's a bequest, right? A bequeath.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So in this chapter here, you're going to read about when the end of time is coming, then there's going to be all these things happening, and this is who the tantra is for. But then it launches into a whole new start.
Yeah.
In chapter 41.
Yeah.
And so you might wonder if maybe there was an earlier version of the tantra that only had 40 chapters. That a later version of the tantra that had 81 chapters, or however many there are here, 86 chapters.
Yeah.
Like in the case of the Vajrasattva Tantra, we actually have preserved an earlier manuscript of a shorter version of the Tantra, and then a later manuscript of a much longer version of the Tantra, and both are preserved.
Yeah.
So we know that they were doing this. They were taking a root Tantra and then supplementing it with more information, and then still calling it the Tantra.
Yeah.
Or maybe they were bringing together 2 or 3 different texts and combining them and calling that the Tantra. These were crafted by scholars who lived in India, in the 8th century.
Yes.
It's actually astounding the quality of literature that this is. It's timeless literature. And it came from these guys that lived in small towns in India, surviving on their chapatis.
Yes.
And it managed to survive 1,300 years in the mountains of Tibet. And now it's coming available to the world by my translations. And I think this is it's actually prophesied in the Tantra that these things will be happening.
Yes. That's so these tantras, like the Vajrasattva Mahatantra, these are tantras that are just on time for our times, for the times we are living, correct?
I believe that.
Yeah, me too.
They say in the tantras the conditions that they will arise.
Yes.
And they always say that they're being written down for the people of the future. So we're definitely the people of the future. That's obvious. And but the conditions are that the world is changing drastically right before our eyes. Look at the magic of this. You're sitting there and I'm sitting here, half of a world between us.
That's true.
We can easily have a conversation. This is magic.
Yeah.
And for the children of today, this is normal.
Yeah. It's the progress, technology, everything. But with some questions, right? Technology and also internet and many things, they have many questions that we
Well, I think that the
raise.
concept of the
But
net
hmm,
is actually very ancient.
yeah.
When you hear about Indranila,
Hmm.
is like that's like from the Rig Veda, I
Yeah,
believe.
I know. Yeah,
It's like
Nila
as old
Tantra
as you
comes from the
yeah,
Rig Veda,
the
precisely. Yeah.
oldest human literature
Yeah.
talks about the net. And it may be that some of these mantras and things that we have preserved
Yeah.
are genuinely some way of accessing some network that existed at one point,
That,
or that maybe still does.
yeah.
Many people believe that it does.
That's great that you bring this out because I'm doing a research about the Nila Tantra, and it's precisely about in the Vedic period in the 8th century in India, and it talks about Mandarava. So it's amazing. It's pretty amazing. So, and it's true. It mentioned a lot of things about the net in a sense of connection, right?
Yeah, and then there's also Maya Jala,
Maya Jala, yeah.
uh, and the the web of illusion, and that's very much what we have.
Yeah,
Um,
that is
they
true.
say there's nothing new under the sun, and it may very well be that all these technological advances we're experiencing
Yeah,
have been experienced before.
yeah,
It may very well be that, over a few thousand years, all the evidence disappears.
yeah. That's
So
true.
it's astounding what humans have done in 200 years.
It is.
One of the astounding things is that I can sit here in my little hut by the river
Uh,
and translate the tantras of ancient India
wow.
and make them available to the world. And this would have been impossible in the past.
Yeah.
And it's because of this amazing potential
Mm,
that I'm able to offer you the translations of all these tantras.
precisely.
And that's like, it's magic. It's wonderful.
Yeah. It's magic, it's very good karma, it's merits, it's a lot of things. We could call it whatever we wish. Should I go for the next question?
Sure.
So let's go. So, when translating visionary literature, how do you keep the precision of the source while making it alive for modern readers, Chris?
Well, my teachers were all very serious people. Yeah, I was in a lot of classes where there were only one student or two students or three students. And I had the best kind of access to the best university scholars in the world at that time. And I had a geshe that was giving me his personal attention. Like he walked to university with me every day. So I was getting, deep immersion into Tibetan by people that were very serious about getting it right, and by scholars in the academy who had very strong opinions about correct understanding. And so I learned Tibetan and Sanskrit in a very rigorous environment. And then I spent what I realized when I was younger is I didn't have enough active English vocabulary, and I didn't understand actually how to express myself in English to be a good translator. I could read a text in Tibetan and understand what it meant, but that didn't make me a translator. that made me somebody who wanted to get it into English, but I kept crashing my mind uh, with trying to build bridges of understanding across the languages.
Mm.
And I've been working at it for 50 years now,
Mm.
And I'm starting to get a few things right. You know, for me, it's very important that the work that I create is actually literature. I'm not at all happy with translations that come out sounding like a computer did them.
Mm.
I'm not happy with translations that do not reflect any understanding.
Mm.
And I think it's very important that the translation carries a meaning that's true to the original and also is a contribution to the English language.
Yes.
And that's the standard that I have for myself. Like nobody is forcing me to do it that way.
Mm.
But that's just my own personal standard of quality.
Mm.
But when I publish it and I put my name on there, then it's coming from my own understanding. And I never ever try to find out whether the artificial intelligence could do it better or what. I don't use any of the
I
tools of
understand.
the
Yeah.
computers. I do it all from my own mind. And I write my translation with a pen
Yeah.
on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
I close my computer and I get the world of the net out of my face.
Yeah.
And I translate with a pen on paper and I think about the quality of the English. And that's important to me. And now, how do I do that? I don't know. I do that because I've been trying to do it for 50 years.
Yeah.
I think if you do anything for 50 years, you're going to get good.
Yeah. You're going to get it done. But you put your heart in that. And that's precisely what, makes this alive for the modern readers, I think. Because you put your heart in everything you do, Chris, which is incredible. So, should I jump to the next question?
Sure.
Okay. So, are there particular passages that function as pointing out instructions?
Well, the whole book is nothing but pointing out instructions.
But can you
And
mention?
another thing you can do with a book like this is use it as an augury.
Yeah.
Like that is like you can think to yourself, well, should I get married or not? And then you open it randomly.
And then
The
you
first
open
thing
the
you
book.
see
Oh,
is,
yes.
so it is that by virtue of our meditation, we attain the reward of the 10th level. And whatever that might mean. Um,
Wow.
you can open it randomly and look for pointing out instructions. And actually, every day I start out my day by putting up a post on Facebook
Mm.
where I put a section of my translations.
Mm.
And I just randomly pick a book and I randomly find some section of text that looks interesting and I put it up there. And there's, I think I had 70,000 viewers in the last month, according to the Facebook.
That's amazing.
So and 5,000 were like actively engaged or something.
Wow.
So anyway, these translations are reaching the world,
Yeah.
and each and every one of them is exactly that. It's a pointing out instruction.
Yeah.
And
That's
I'm doing something very brave. I'm putting the pointing out instructions out into the world,
that's true.
and so far everything is going well.
But you don't you think this is very important for the future generations to put the
I think
pointing
that
out
we need to
instructions to?
salvage the wisdom of the ancient ones for the sake of the children of the future.
Yeah.
because the knowledge of the ancient ones is rapidly being replaced by fantasies
Yes,
that are
absolutely.
created by computers.
Absolutely.
And the knowledge of the ancient ones needs to be preserved. And
Absolutely.
it doesn't mean that you have to become a full-time practitioner,
Yeah.
but you might want to read a book or two, and learn from what the ancient ones had to say about how all of this makes sense.
Absolutely.
And that's what I'm offering people is the chance to pick up a book and read it
Mm.
without having to commit themselves to some long retreat or some rigorous commitment of recitation of mantras
Yes.
or any actually the tantras teach a direct understanding that should be available to anyone anywhere. And and I think it's also good that I put it up there for free.
Yes.
um, because there's a lot of people in the whole world that could not afford a subscription.
That is true.
Um, but and these, like, I have a lot of fans in Bhutan and Nepal and India
Yeah.
and all over Europe. And
Yeah, you have a lot of fans in Europe. Trust me, you do. And I'm sure you also have in Nepal. I also know you have a lot of fans in Nepal. Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of attention from Bhutan. I'm surprised. But
I'm not that surprised, you know.
there's a
Bhutan
lot
is
of
surprising.
the Bhutanese who really do want to understand what's in the scriptures.
Yeah. Uh,
And Bhutanese is not the same as Tibetan.
no.
And there's not that many Bhutanese who really can read classical Tibetan
Yes.
unless they have special training. And so my translations in English make that knowledge available to them,
Yeah.
and they can read it on their phone every day on Facebook. And I think it's great.
But that's also very important what you are bringing out because that means, you know, Bhutanese are beginning to be interested in understand the words and the meaning, not only just reading the text because their culture is, you know, the
Well, this
Vajrayana
is
culture,
what
which
gets
is
everyone
great.
in the world. It's a trap for everyone in the world of every religion,
Yeah,
where you're reciting prayers that you don't really understand.
that's it.
And it's something that happens with human beings and religions.
Yeah.
Um, uh, and the same is true of political slogans.
Yes.
People recite slogans that they don't really understand,
Yeah,
and it's something humans do.
that's true. Well, thank you. But don't you want to give us a particular passage of the book that, for, in your humble opinion, is really a pointing out instruction, especially for the new generations, those who are not too much into this, into the tantric texts?
It may appear that there is one and there are
Mm,
many,
yeah.
but this is the magnificent miracle of our awareness. Everything is a spontaneously occurring miracle. As for the one, it is essentially empty. The nature of its clear aspect is to be unceasing. As for the one, it is gathered into the many things dawn into their own playfulness. As for the purpose, for the secret mantra Vajrayana, it is condensed into the three. It is gathered into the triad of view, meditation, and practice.
Thank you so much.
View, meditation, and practice.
Yes.
The
Thank you.
way you look at your world and your life,
Yeah.
your perspective, your meditation is what you concentrate on, what you focus on,
Yeah.
and your practice is what you actually do.
Yeah.
Um, and in the Dzogchen view, your practice you don't have like you're not. There's no really non-practice.
Yes.
Um, because there's no practice in Dzogchen.
Yeah.
So there's no non-practice or any practice either. Um, the reason for that is that in the present, all you can do is be who you are. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
And you might say, well, I want to go to the mountains and practice. Then it's like, what are you doing now?
Yeah.
Are you not practicing?
Yeah.
No, you're actually just practicing being who you are here.
Yeah.
And you'll continue practicing that in the mountains. So that's why you can say to practice where you have no practice. That you hear that kind of language a lot in these books. To go on without striving.
Yeah. That's very profound.
A bodhisattva has a commitment to keep on going.
Absolutely.
But an attitude of hunting, and an attitude of hunting for our own enlightenment, is not a constructive attitude. We're starving to get something that we don't have, and we never do get it. We go through levels and stages, and we attend seminars, and we go to retreats, and we do pilgrimages, and we like go visit great empowerments, and we to holy places around the world.
Wow.
And we never. It's always somewhere in the next trip.
You are always searching for something, but you don't know really what you want.
Now you're in Bali, they tell you how great it is in Nepal. And then you get to Nepal and they tell you how great it is in Thailand. Yeah. And then you get to Thailand and they tell you how great it is in Vietnam. And no matter where you go, you're always on your way, and you're never arriving.
Yeah. And
the attitude of the great perfection is that you're already there.
Yeah.
And
that's not easy to understand, and that's not easy to achieve, Chris.
This is but by reading the Dawn of Awareness, you can get a feeling for what it might feel like to actually have that viewpoint.
Yeah, that is true.
That you're already there. And that's why these books exist.
Yeah. Thank you. And thanks to your translations, these books exist in our times, in modern times. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because you decide to maintain the ancient scriptures and translate them to bring them to the future generations. And that is, unbelievable. So I will jump to the next question, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. So the Tantra says awareness is beyond vows, change, correctness. How do such statements relate to the tradition commitments in Vajrayana, Chris?
Well, they say that the great perfection is beyond any vow or commitment or practice, which is what we actually were just talking about.
Yes.
You don't vow to be sitting there. You're just sitting there. You don't vow to eat dinner. You just eat your dinner. You don't like make a commitment to like wash your hair once a year. You just wash your hair, you don't things that are natural don't need to be bound and committed and practiced. And the great perfection is all about being natural. And so what if you happen to have commitments? Like, you need to remember the password to your email. And you need to remember your bank account. And you need to remember your ID. And you need to remember that rent is due on the 1st or whatever it might be for you. There's commitments that you have in the world that you have to pay attention to. Now, if you're practicing in the Vajrayana, you might have taken on commitments, like you might have agreed to recite 1,000 mantras every day. Or you might have agreed to recite a total of 300,000 mantras within the next period of time. Whatever, you might make some commitment like that you're going to fulfill some obligation. And the great perfection has nothing to say about whether you should or should not keep your obligations. Now, we who are still alive in the world know that keeping your obligations is essential, and integrity is everything. And a sense of being reliable and responsible and being level is like very good in the world that we live.
That's true.
And the great perfection does not say that you need to become a crazy madman to realize the great perfection. And then it does not say that you need to put your hair in a weird hairstyle or wear bones.
Or dress like Tibetan, yeah.
Or dress like a Tibetan or dress like an Indian yogi. Or it doesn't say that you need to change your style of eating or dressing or the great perfection is not a fashion.
Yeah.
And people who are looking for fashions are not attracted by the great perfection.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it does not offer any bling.
It doesn't have much to offer. Yeah.
It doesn't have anything to you can't wear it. You can't sell it.
You cannot show it.
No, and you can't get a badge that says you are a perfect yogi or something.
You are a Dzogchen pa.
So, but there are people that really value their own wisdom, and that really do value their own awareness, and that's who I'm translating for.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm not translating for people who need to read this to get a degree or to pass a class in a university. But I'm reading it for people that have a personal interest in the wisdom of the ancient ones.
And this tantra says precisely that awareness is beyond vows, right?
So whether or not you have a vow, you are aware.
Yeah.
Like you don't make a commitment to wash your hair, but you're aware that your hair is clean.
Yeah. That's true. That's very
and if you don't wash your hair, then you'll be aware that your hair is dirty. And they're both awareness. That's it's possible that we make a mistake when we view things by assuming that that something is positive or negative or black and white or some polar reality, good and bad, high and low.
Yeah.
You know, we have set up these polarities, and then you can start to think that true awareness is only on the side of the right, and that on the side of the wrong is some kind of, they don't really have awareness, they have ignorance. And so we are the aware ones and they are the ignorant ones. And then you can be very proud about that. And that's a big trap. And it's one of the four maras.
That's one of the four maras. That's very true.
And awareness is completely aware whether or not you happen to be in a horrible situation or a good one.
Yeah, that's true. I will jump to the last question of this interview. That is, what is one major misconception about Dzogchen that the Down on Awareness helps to clarify?
Some people think that the great perfection is like something that should require like only 3 words.
Only so.
And they have the 3 words of Garab Dorje.
Oh, or
And
the
he
7
said,
nails and etc.
yeah, or there's the 7 nails, and there's the Ganges Mahamudra, and there's these short little poems that are like the Tao Te Ching or something. They're short little poems that are packed with meaning, and you can memorize them and like use them as a guide to your life. But what if you really like a full-blown explanation that looks into the consequences of these views and what's actually happened in the transmission of these views, and how these views come together, and maybe what kind of streams of ancient wisdom are being brought together in these views. And we definitely have a secret tradition that was fiercely guarded and very, very carefully taken care of for over 1,000 years. And this is something that human beings have decided was important to keep alive. And these monks sitting in the mountains, they're copying manuscripts over the centuries. No other reason than to keep these books alive on the earth. And before the proliferation of the digital copies, some of these books that I'm translating, there were only 1 or 2 copies left on the planet.
Yeah.
And this dawn of awareness that was only actually kept in a few collections. So even the very famous books, there were not really that many copies that were actually out there. And you would have to be a very important person to even access them. And now here we are, and these books are now becoming available to the world. Some people say that the Great Perfection is secret and should not be spoken. I think this is a misconception.
Yeah.
And I think that the teaching in these tantras is the proof.
Yeah.
If you read them, they obviously are intended to be read.
Yeah.
They wrote them so that we would read them. Yeah, they did not write them so that we would put them in a shrine and never touch them. And when you do read them and you realize that they do have a voice and they speak out, then that overwhelms the idea that you should just somehow like never really talk about it. And I think these ideas do bear talking about. And in these times that we live, this is a good time to talk about things of ancient wisdom.
Yes, but you touch a very sensitive point. That is the secrecy, that we should never.
The thing that is secret is not the book.
Yeah.
The thing that is secret is that you are aware of yourself now.
Yeah.
And the only way to find that secret is to find yourself now.
Yes.
And the book becomes irrelevant.
But this aspect of the secrecy and maintaining these things secrets, don't you think that has to be with causes and conditions and the times where the people had?
I personally believe very much in karma.
And the karma.
I believe very much in karma. I think.
Yeah, me too.
The vast majority of people are just not going to be interested in this book. Most millions and millions are not even going to ever think about this book.
Yes, that is true.
And out of those who actually find this book, all of them will have some sort of karmic connection that makes them feel like they want to read this book. And I trust in those kind of connections that when a reader is ready to find that book, they will find it, and they can and they'll read it and they'll come to their own realization or their own understanding. But most people are not. I don't advertise. I mean, I'm not actually pushing anything.
Yeah.
I'm not advertising. When I let out a book, I announce it.
Yeah.
And that's all I do is I announce my books and then I move on to the next project.
Yes. That is true. I like now this is not in the questions, it's just me asking because I liked when you say you really believe in karma. Me too. Can you just give me your perspective of that? What do you mean when you say you believe in karma?
Well, I think that it's obvious that things are interconnected, and if you look at the chain of events of what happens in your life,
Yes.
you cannot help but notice that strange connections are happening all the time. And it's actually a network of miracles that keeps anything together at all.
Yes.
And if you're looking for a reason why things are happening, it's because of what was happening before.
Yes, exactly.
And but we do have freedom, and we do have freedom in the present.
Yeah.
So at any point in the present, we can change our future.
Yes.
And so our past is not a prison.
Yes.
And our future is an opportunity. But our present is what we have.
That's true. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I don't know if you want to say any particular message or if you want to give any particular point of view
Oh,
about.
my books are all on Amazon.
I'm going to put that
So you
in the
can
YouTube
find them
with a
there.
link to buy. Yes.
And it's nice to have a chance to share a little bit about my translation with you all. I hope this gives you like a little bit of a feeling for what the translator is like. And keep
And
reading.
also, yeah, and also inspiration to understand that the Asians are already knew what we are facing today. And if we preserve the Asian teachings and tradition, we can adapt it perfectly to our times, isn't it?
I hope so.
I really hope so too. So, Chris, I want to thank you from my heart to do this interview. That was really very kind of you, very generous, your time. Thank you for giving me your time. It's funny because we always do in the Kini Day or Guru Rinpoche